Today we're massaging Mo. He's a 12-year-old quarter horse gelding. He's primarily used in eventing and ranch riding. I've been told he has maybe some neck stiffness and some stiffness along his top line. So we're going to work on that today. Looking over Mo's top line, there's a good flow to the overall entire top line. The withers merge nicely into the back. His crest line looks a little bit too straight, which could mean there's some soreness issues in his neck. The forehand is more muscled than the hindquarters, and above the haunches there is a flat spot, so indicating that the hind legs are not coming up under the haunches enough. Looking at Mo from the front, his shoulders look to be the same size and shape and appear level with each other. Looking at Mo from the back, his right hip is lower than the left, but I believe his right leg was propped up when this angle was taken. As I'm watching Mo walk, I notice his hind feet don't quite meet up to the front hoof prints. All the leg joints appear to be working as they should. There's nice movement and fluidity in those joints. His fetlocks are sinking to the ground nicely. There's not much movement in his neck. There's a good up and down movement, but in the neck itself it seems kind of stiff. There is movement through the back and the haunches, and the tail is not clamped down against his butt, but it's not really stiff either. It kind of moves a little bit as he moves along. And there is movement through his external oblique, which is also a good sign. So as I'm watching Mo trot, it's more obvious at this gait that the hind feet do not come up to meet the front hoof prints. There is good movement in his joints, as there was at the walk. Everything seems to be moving with fluidity, and I don't see any that kind of sticky or jerkiness. His neck is still and steady, but he has an arch upward versus down, which is still telling me there's some kind of stiffness somewhere in his neck. There is good movement in the back muscles as well as the haunches. He's holding his tail a little more elevated than he did at the walk. He was a little bit excited when we were filming this, and his external obliques are still moving well, as they did at the walk. Moving on to the canter, it was obvious in the walk and the trot that the hind feet didn't come up as far as they should. In the canter, there's still a good drop to the pelvis, even though the legs aren't coming up as far as I believe they should. There was good movement in the lumbar sacral joint. That's an important one for this gait. The other joints are still moving well. His head and neck are steady, but his neck is still arcing upward. And there is good movement throughout the top line, and as well external obliques as in the other gaits.